Before we get started, I just want to, I know you guys heard of the news yesterday. We're supporting Chris every way possible. It was really kind of an emotional time and still kind of is from the standpoint of, Chris missed the preseason game because of the birth of his daughter that he just had. We're going to support Chris. Chris is a great dude, good in the locker room. We're going to support him. Our hearts and our prayers go out to him, his family, her family. Really, really sad. But anyways, with any questions, we're getting prepared for New York. They're a good football team. All football teams in the NFL are good. They've got a great coaching staff, good defensive players, good offensive players. Some of the best in the league on both sides of the ball. Good coaching staff. We know what kind of coach Greg Williams is, and we know he'll have his defense ready to play. I know what kind of coach Adam is, and I know his offense will be ready to play. Special teams is always huge. We consider it very important here, and hopefully we'll make some plays in all three areas.
Freddie, your thoughts on the news that Darnold is not going to play Monday?
It's very evident last week. We don't need to worry about who's playing, who's not playing. We're going to prepare like we prepare.
In regard to Chris's situation, how difficult was that yesterday to tell the team, for everybody to kind of process that?
We try to build a culture around here where we hold each other accountable, all right? When you do that, you have to start caring about people. This goes beyond football. All right. This was a 26-year-old young lady at the highlight of her life. Chris, just not to get too personal about it, but it's not nothing, Chris is a good dude. She was a good girl. We just want to support them in any way we can.
For the sake of clarity, will he not be available this week?
I can't say one way or the other on that. I know from an emotional standpoint, we're going to support Chris. I'm going to support Chris. His teammates are going to support Chris. I have not even given one thought about that. And I don't want Chris to even think about that. I told him yesterday, this is beyond this, okay? We can make it whatever we want to, all right, as people in the business, people covering the business. And I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying in general, guys, this is life, all right? We like to say different things about life when it really doesn't matter. But when it starts affecting you, all right, it gets serious. All right, and that's the way we should approach every area. All right, that's what we've tried to instill in these guys. So when you got a bunch of guys that are close and to continue to move in the same direction, it affects everybody because you end up caring about the person. A funny thing happens when you start playing this game of football. You think you're just playing, you're coaching, everything's fine until life hits. All right, and then when life hits, it's kind of a reality check. We like to talk about balance. We think balance affects all areas. So if you're unbalanced in one area of your life, you're not going to be balanced in the other areas of your life. I feel like Chris had great balance, but whenever you do have balance, which is the most rewarding way to go about life, something happens to one part of that, then, of course, it's affected in other areas too. But we're going to support Chris. I know it's a long-winded answer, but Chris is on my mind right now. His family's on my mind. Her family's on my mind. The 4-week-old baby is on my mind. So it's a difficult time, but we're going to get through it. There's never going to be an excuse. We're going to get through it. I promise you that, but we're going to get through it together. And Chris is included in that. His family's included in that.
Can you address also, Chris is obviously one of the favorites in the locker room. He's so close to everybody. He's a big brother to many. He's just everybody's best friend. Can you talk about how, this has really rocked your whole entire locker room.
You know, the way we try to approach things is literally, like I said, we want to become close. For the good time, you know, I tell these guys all the time, this football season is about the journey, all right? So you want to be around guys that want to be on the journey with you. To do that, you have to care about each other. If you want to get the most out of your team, you have to start at some point caring about each other, all right? And when you do that, that builds relationships. And Chris is one of those guys. His smile's infectious. His personality's infectious. He's just overall well-liked, just like you said. And, of course, I mean, everybody in that locker room's hurting for him, you know.
Obviously, you know, nobody wants to ever go through something like this, but how valuable can it be? I mean, maybe you can speak from, you know, your perspective and what some things that you might have gone through, but how valuable can it be to have the kind of the brotherhood of the locker room, coaching staff?
I know this, when you go through bad things in life, you want people around you that care about you and that care about you for the right reasons. And that has nothing to do with playing a 5 technique. It has nothing to do with, you know, taking on a tight end. It has to do with wanting your best interest in mind and getting you better from a personal standpoint. So, yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it puts things in perspective, okay? From the standpoint of, you know, in this thing we call life, what's important to you? Well, Chris is important to us. Chris is important to this locker room. And everything he's going through, we feel.
One of the hardest things you've had to do to Coach Freddie is not only talk to Chris, but then tell the team.
Yeah, I think so. Hell of a lot harder than the games. But again, that comes with the reason it's so hard is that I think because of the locker room we've created, which if you want to relate it back to football, the reason why we would create that locker room is we know we're going to go through hard times. You know, Monday was hard, but nothing compared to what yesterday was. So when you start talking about perspective, that's perspective, okay? So both of them are hard, but we've tried to build a locker room where guys care about each other, that get you through tough times, and it's not going to get any tougher than that. Hopefully that answers your question.
I'm sorry to try to drag this back to football. But have you seen?
Don't apologize for that.
I mean,
Don't apologize for that.
have you seen signs? What signs have you seen that you've gotten over those? Because you said you had fixed it instantly. What signs have you seen that that's happened?
I'll just say this: our guys know we don't coach penalties. Okay, we don't. So it comes down. Here's what football comes down to: the smartest and the most physical team usually wins the game. All right. We were a physical team the other day. All right. But we weren't the smartest team. Our guys understand that. They accept that. Now, I've told you before, we've identified a problem, okay? Now we're going to rectify the problem. And that's really all I have to say about it. And that's moving forward. That's the way we approach every day. So that's the way it's going to be. Nobody's shaking here, okay? We're going to fix the problem.
The way you saw Baker respond to those three, when he threw the 3 interceptions in that first half against Houston, the way he responded in the second half, I know you have confidence in him regardless, but is it nice to know that he was able to do that coming off the 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter?
You know, Baker's very resilient, and I'm not worried about Baker at all. And you know, this is really, this is the last time I'm going to say anything about the last game because we've moved on. It's not even thought about. But, you know, sometimes as a quarterback, you got to understand the difference between pressing and not pressing. All right. And, you know, it's a 22-13 game, and we've got a guy running open down the field, and we couldn't get it off. So our team understands that. Nobody else probably does. But moving forward, we can take that experience and get better from it. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do.
Can't worry about who is or who isn't playing, but the fact of the matter is, I'm guessing you were preparing to face Sam Darnold, so just the fact that Trevor Siemian's going to be in there, what's that do to your preparation now?
Well, nothing at all. We're going to be focused on our preparation during the week, the same as we would have been before. We're going to try to get after the quarterback just like we did before. We try to affect the quarterback every way that we can, through coverage, through pressure. Nothing changed, you know. I was with a very good, just look across the league. All you got to do is look across the league. These guys are in the NFL for a reason. Trevor can play, all right? So nothing's changed. I don't even know what. I know people like to make a big deal of it, and I'm not getting on you. People like to make a big deal of it. But, Tennessee didn't have their left tackle, all right? We went to Pittsburgh in 2015. We had a good football team. Maybe it's 15 or 16. Had a good football team in Arizona. They didn't have Ben Roethlisberger. They beat us. So that doesn't matter. What they do does not affect how we prepare. All right, we're going to prepare, and we're going to concentrate on ourselves, with ourselves getting better, ourselves playing smarter, ourselves playing tougher. We want smart, tough, physical football players. And that's what we're trying to get. That has nothing to do about the opponent. No disrespect to New York at all. They are a good football team. Just watch them. They're a good football team. So, ultimate respect for them, but they're not going to affect how we prepare.
You know a lot about Siemian, and how different of a player is he compared to Darnold?
I know he makes NFL throws, I remember following him in, he was free agent this year or last year. And, he's a good player. Yes. I remember him in Denver. All right. Yeah. I hadn't seen a lot of tape on him this year yet, but I remember him from the past.
This being a Monday night game, are there specific things you're doing to prepare for the fact that the schedule is different, or are you just letting the schedule take care of itself and coaching it out?
Yeah, we just, we just backed everything up a day, try to keep a normal week. You end up with a bonus day. I chose to use that on Tuesday so the guys could get in their normal routine as far as Wednesday, Thursday, Friday preparation kind of thing. We're just doing it Thursday, Friday, Saturday now. So
Monday games a lot easier to play than Thursday games. A lot of guys don't like Thursday games. A lot of players.
Yeah, I don't. The Thursday games, what it puts the pressure on you from a physical getting back mentality. You played 3 days earlier or 4 days earlier. So yeah, Thursday games are probably physically more taxing, but anytime anything changes, you like to get everybody. What do you do in the morning when you wake up? First thing you do? Or can you tell me about that? Yeah, but my point is, everybody's got a routine, all right? So coaches, players, everybody wants a routine of the week. So anytime that changes, you have an obstacle to overcome. All right. Now your Thursday's like a Wednesday, so be it. So in my mind, today's Wednesday. Maybe not for you in the morning, but.
Without seeing your injury report yet, should we assume that Justin McCray passed the test as being a backup tackle and would go into this week as that?
Yeah, we just refer to the injury report, but he's good. He's in good condition, good shape.
Since Campbell coached him in Green Bay, does that give him an edge to be able to play an emergency position?
Well, it's the terminology and stuff like that is different than they have in Green Bay. So from a technique standpoint, yes, I'd say, but from a knowledge standpoint, no. anytime you start moving a couple of guys around at different spots, it's always kind of difficult task. But I thought those guys handled it well.
In your mind, how much more explosive can your offense be than what you showed Sunday?
I would hope a lot more explosive. I mean, again, we've got good players. It's not about talent. This is nothing is about talent here. We've got the talent, all right? Just put that out there right now. I feel like we've got the talent. Like every other season, a lot of things happen. You got to stay healthy. You got to not have 18 penalties, all right? So you've got to play smart. You got to play physical. You got to know what to do. You got to know when to do it. You got to know how to do it. So we've got the talent, but it's not about the talent. It's about, getting the job done. Again, potential just means one thing, that you haven't done anything yet, all right? So we've got the same potential as we had last Saturday before the game. We still haven't done anything. So it doesn't mean anything. I've been trying to stress that. It doesn't mean anything. It's just potential.
Found your players to be this week in the aftermath?
I was thoroughly impressed on how they came out to work on Tuesday, how they met today. That's the only thing I have to go off of. The funny thing about football is in the football season, it's like you study for a test all week and you find out what you make on Sunday, this instance Monday, which is our Sunday. But, you find out what you get a grade at the end of the week, and it's straight pass fail. It doesn't matter if it's 50 points or 3 points. We're into wins and losses. That's it. Doesn't matter to us what the score is. We just want to win the game. But we do that by preparing like it's a Wednesday.
Taki able to fill in for Darius Taylor?
Taki's healthy. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, Taki's healthy.
He would be the guy you'd also look to in that role.
I'm not committing to that yet, but he is healthy.
And how about Demarius Randall? Is he back with you guys?
He's over his stomach sickness, yes.
And given the idea that you said you have the talent and that sort of thing, will you or have you appealed to your guys' sense of pride? Because you know what Sunday looked like, obviously, and there's a long season ahead. So, and if the talent's here, then I have to believe that they're prideful athletes who wouldn't want a repeat of any of that.
I fully expect these guys to come back and put their best foot forward. At the end of the day, we just got to play smarter,
Last one here. We got a
lot of pressure.
Make it good.
Okay. When you hear the name Joe Namath, most people think of the Jets. Do you think of Alabama?
Yes, I do.
Was he your hero at that point in your career at college?
Him, Stabler. Alabama's had some great quarterbacks. I was not one of them, but they've had some great quarterbacks, But I know Kenny better than Joe, but I do know Joe, and both of them are great guys. But yes, I kind of think of all of them. I wouldn't say just Joe. I'd say all of them, But he could throw it. Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Did you know that?
Yep.
Did you? Where's Kenny Stabler from? You going down on a limb there? Yeah, Mobile, Foley.